Zdravo, hello, hello. It's been another week in Serbia. So, in the last 2 hours at least, I was trying to set up a proper horizontal way of streaming, but failed miserably, unfortunately. So much work has been done, like a microphone, a webcam, like everything. Anyway, hi, hello Lily. Hello Jan once again. So I wanted to read some news about the recent Hi Daydreamer around here in Serbia. There's something going on. I've read some information yesterday, I think. Yes, I got it from the Russian news source. By the way, is the sound okay? Everything all right? There will be like a small delay anyway, and yes, okay, good. Thank you. So in the Russian infosphere, the information is that that the conflict is in a stagnant form, but the Serbians are waiting and not making their first move. So the president, I'm not sure what information is out there in the European news sources. I only had time to do this thing. I also finally has started making a new video, and I will, after maybe tomorrow, I will start editing it and stuff. But back on the topic. So they are saying that the Albanians are pushing their limits even further right now, and the president of Serbia has given he has given the orders not to take these attacks personally, I would say. So, and not to react to these things, because he is waiting, he is hoping to resolve this situation without the need for use of force. So, but as I've said previously, there is definite the army is readying. We have seen only once, though we don't go out much to to be true, but in a couple of times that we were on the Danube River, there were many ships, like maybe about 8, I believe, warships. So they're not huge, I'm used to seeing when it comes to war-related ships. It's for me they are supposed to be big because, well, in Russia there's like a navy. I haven't seen much of the smaller ships in Russia anyway. But here, since it's on the river also, they were like transporter ships with huge, I don't know how much millimeters the size of the bullets is, but it's like so the barrel of the guns were at least my size in length. So, and about the diameter is like this, maybe like 2 maybe inches, I'm not sure. Pretty big guns. But it was like almost relaxed, the thing that they did. They parked at the bank of the Danube River, and there's no army related constructions there, just plain port area. I'm not like a port, there's like nothing there, like any ships can park there, and there have been 8 ships in a row, like 6 of them, and 2 on the river still going up, and they were like doing something and exchanging stuff. It's all painted in the war camo. But and also there's like a army station nearby in Petrovaradin. It's not very big, but there has been some movement with the first day that we saw it. There were like no vehicles outside. It was just empty. And the last time we saw it, like 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure 3 maybe, there were once again about 10 or so armed vehicles and transport vehicles. But other than that, it's pretty chill here. I've seen a message, let me check. Hi Robert, how am I doing? I'm doing a lot better since the last time. I was quite nervous I'm not sure for what reason, but it happened. This time, as I said at the beginning, I was trying to set up stuff and was going to ready for the stream a bit more, but it didn't happen. Like, plans didn't go along, and but other than that, I'm feeling good. Thank you so much. Everything is like getting in line, so thank you. So the video, as I said, I was filming the video yesterday, and Karina has been helping me film it. It was the first time that someone else helped me, and it was, well, it felt like a professional production almost. But it took so much time. Like, the video is going to be almost, I was hoping 7 minutes long, but the process took us the whole day almost. 5 hours at least, because we had to ready all the stuff here and clean up and stuff. And well, so I was planning to read the news yesterday, and it didn't happen. So now all this anyway. Another video is coming up also. So this was going to be a setup, the yesterday's video, for the next one to come. And it will be related to cooking. So maybe someone will be happy to hear this. Even though, well, you'll see anyway. You'll see. So we also have been to the fort nearby, and we have been filming some stuff there. I hope to produce this video in the end, but it was like almost 15 degrees Celsius here on the weekend, which is quite unique. I haven't been to a place where it's so hot, but right now it dropped to like I think it's -1. It's pretty cold, especially with all this humidity. So yes, what was I going to tell you? Yeah, so I've been to this fort, right? And we've been there together. And it's looking really good from the side. It's well established on, like, the positioning is almost perfect on the Danube River. It's also called what was the name? Gibraltar on Danube. It's one of the nicknames of it. It's a very, very well thought out fortress. So well thought out that I almost hate it. It's a historical fort, Jan, and well, it's so weird. It's weird in many ways. And I have been to other forts previously, so I have been in ones in England, in castles also, and in a couple of ones in Spain, also in India. So they were all made by different empires. So it's like English, the Portuguese, and the Spanish. But this one was built by the Austrians, and it was built around 300 years ago. But it's like I was there. It has many interesting places, but being there, I wanted to go away. That's how it felt. Like the castles I've been and the forts previously, High Zerb, Dale, right. Let me check the chat. Alex, good to see you. I hope you're safe and well. I hope everything is falling into place for you. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. We have, I'm also telling a story how we've seen the fort, and we like, it was like a date for us with Karina, and things are falling into place. And I will get back to that. I would like some Russian meal, maybe cook for my Russian man friend. He's starting to sound a little kiwi. He just came back from a visit to home Russia, and he was a little depressed. Oh, okay. Oh, did he leave Russia a long time ago? Was he, or was it like maybe, I mean, not the last time, previously, to live with you, for example, and in another country? Was it a long time ago? Because so many things are happening in Russia and changes, even though when you are there, it doesn't feel like it. But once you get outside, the changes are quite significant. Hi Zoe, hello from Sydney, Australia. Hello, hello. So, yes, the fort, it has, it's very well thought out. The people who built it, well, they built it over like almost at least 100-year period, and there have been updates to it and stuff. He left just as mobilization started. Oh, okay, that wasn't that long ago. So, quick question for you: where do you live? Where did he go? And so he's feeling depressed now. I hope he will get better, and well, I hope everything will get better. But it's a hard experience living. And is he thinking about going back? Or maybe he's having doubts now. Maybe he initially didn't want to go back, but now he is thinking about it. Or maybe it's the other way around. I'm interested to hear this. So about the fort. It's layered, and the layers were the top ones were built almost 300 years ago, and the bottom ones were built like 150 or something years ago. And they all look quite kind of the same. And it has many internal passages inside of it. And almost none of them are blocked. And the last time we were one of the one before that, we were going back from a shop, so we go like 3-4 kilometers into the city to get to the shop with the best prices, and go back with groceries, which is a good run, good for the health. But this time we were going back and rain started, and it was very dark. It was almost 10 p.m. And we have seen this in one of these passages. We are passing by this fort, and in the bottom passages of it, the fortifications still have these entrances and windows, and there was like a fire inside, but it didn't look like a campfire. It looked like candles and stuff. So it probably wasn't some date inside. I've tried taking some photos. Karina didn't want me to get closer to them. I wanted to get a bit closer and film what's going on. I was very intrigued by what's going to happen there. But yes, I don't know what happened in the end, but it's quite interesting. And these passages, some of them are collapsed, some of them are filled by dirt and trash, and almost none of them are closed. Some of them were closed, but the doors were broken like maybe years ago. It's just a strange feeling because it's a very popular sightseeing spot here in Novi Sad. And this day that we were there, it was the weekend, and there were so many Russians there. There were more, I think there were more Russians than Serbians. And also, by the way, there's like a lot of traffic and stuff, and there's like a hotel, and it's inside the fort. I will make a video about it, and you will see what I'm talking about. It's all very weird. And the passages are not closed, and no one even cares about them for some reason. It's not very safe, I think, but probably the kids and stuff, they don't care about it because, I don't know, maybe they have they are computers, and the ones that are grown a bit more, they enjoy football around here very much. So many fans here. And this whole, well, I'll check the chat. Daydreamer says he wouldn't tell me where he came from. He's very secretive, always has been. But I understand he doesn't want to go back. It's very sad, but I enjoy life. Feeds help me understand. Your life feeds help me understand. Okay. Okay, that's very good. It's good to hear. Zerb, I just joined you. Buy me a coffee. I tried to put the link here in chat, but I think the message was deleted because it's an external link. Let me check this quickly. I don't think I can. Nope. Unfortunately, this thing on the mobile, it's so limited. It's so limited. And I'm pretty sure that I have so little subscribers, I can't even rotate it horizontally for some reason. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, yes, I hope maybe I can try to do it from the PC quickly in parallel while I'll tell you what this whole story reminds me of. So I have been to Turkey quite recently. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. Well, it wasn't not so recent. 5 years ago, I think, yes. And no, 4. Anyway, over there is a place called what's it called? It slips my mind right now. Ephesus. Just like, almost like the beer, Ephes. Ephesus, it was called, I believe, in Latin, but it's called Ephes now. Probably, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm making this up about the Latin thing. Anyway, it's a 2,000 years old city built by the Roman Empire that has been just abandoned, completely abandoned. And it was a prospering city. It was beautiful. It had, I'm pretty sure that it had the biggest amphitheater in the empire, in the Roman Empire. It was built for more than 10,000 people, I think, or about 10,000 people. so it's pretty big, and why this reminds me, because well, even though this whole area has been abandoned, it was pretty well, it looks pretty good still. There has been a lot of work that has been done by the professionals to rebuild it, but still a lot of things stayed the same. In many places, the cities they were destroyed by wars and stuff, but this city is, I believe it's like top 5 best, not saved, but I think you understand what I'm talking about, that maybe the second best saved city. By the way, did I say Dale, thank you? I think that thing is just escaped my mind. Thank you very much. It's just ridiculous how this happened. If it did, thank you for supporting me. This will help me a lot. Thank you so much. And if you did it, by the way, I think you will be able to download the stuff from the extras page for free. There was like awesome photos. I have edited them just for my supporters. Thank you very much. You can put them on your like mobile screen. You can print them. They're very high quality. They will be emailed to you immediately once you get them for free. So yes, preserved. That is the correct term. I was thinking about it. Thank you so much, Jan. You are saving my vocabulary once again. So yes, I believe it's the second best preserved city after the one that was buried under the ash of a volcano. This escapes me once again, but everyone knows what I'm talking about, like legends about it. And yes, Pompeii. That's okay. Good, Dale. Okay, that's perfect, because yes, I was fearful that it happened, but it didn't. Perfect, but anyway, you deserve this another call out anyway. Yes, Pompeii, right. So it's beautiful. I was walking around the streets. It wasn't, I'm not sure if it still is very popular. There is not much people around, and there was a sea nearby, so this was a very prosperous city. The streets were built from the marble, not the marble, is it called the marble? Yes, I think everything in Greece and in the empire, Roman Empire, has been built in this stone, so I think it's marble. Anyway, the streets are built with it, whole like giant pieces of marble that has been laying there for 2,000 years. Since then, it's almost like an ice skate. Well, yeah, it's like very, very sleek. You can fall. It's so many legs have passed over it, so they have, made it very slick. Anyway, it's just gorgeous walking around it. So many things are well preserved. You can imagine yourself living in this city and thinking like these people. Like you walk on the street and there's a bathhouse, and over here you have like VIP living apartments, almost like housing of small houses, and they are VIP, like, so the best of the best. We're living there, and it's the tiniest living quarters. It's like the size, I don't know, like of a toilet almost. So toilet room, bathroom, I mean, like it's so tiny, just a bed would fit there and maybe a table and a chair, and that's it. No like storage space or stuff. And almost right in front of it, it's the public toilet. And oh wow, it shocked me, by the way it was. It's amazing. It's so they have this huge room. It's square shaped, and around the two sides of it, the like a bench that's made out of marble, that is made into a toilet for a couple of people at the same time. And all the stuff drops down, and there's a huge system of pipes, so there's fresh running water underneath, and it takes away everything and it flushes out and stuff. But that's not the most amazing thing. The thing is that how it's established everything. This room is a square, and in the middle there's a square piece of taken out or out of the floor, and there is a grassy area. And there, I'm pretty sure on the drawing, the reconstruction of the place, there was a tree, and the area on top of it, the roof was removed in the same manner. So you would sit in a toilet, but it would be under the almost clear sky. You could watch the birds, and you can see the tree and the sound of all this air and fresh air, and like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, this is exactly like I want that bathroom. It's crazy. We have all these amazing technology. We have flushing toilets, which are amazing. Of course, it's so cool that we don't need to see like every single other person do their business, but still the setup is amazing. Just wow, mind-blowing. And right across the street is the VIP housing. Like, who would do this? But it's done over there. And also they had these, there was a sea there, and it was very close by, and they had the stadium, and they had this, the biggest, as I said previously, for 10,000 people, the theater, amphitheater, and they also had a second one for way less, and the streets of marble and all this stuff. So it's like almost godlike the way they lived there. But why everything happened? The sea went away. It went away very quickly. And it was almost impossible to use the city from that moment on. So all this beauty has been wasted, unfortunately, but not really wasted. It stayed upright for more than 2,000 years. It outlived the empire. So I was walking down these streets and thinking to myself that, wow, I think that nothing that I will do in my life could possibly be as astounding as this. The tears were coming to my eyes by all this beauty. And it's shocking at the same time. Of course, you have to understand that all of this has been built by the use of, well, not professional, but what's it called? The people working not for paid labor, but by forced labor. But still. Slave labor, yes, exactly, thank you. So this fort reminded me about this whole city, because this city is not a very popular, like an extremely popular touristic location, and there's also a lot of things that are not separated perfectly. So for example, when you go to maybe some place like in England or stuff, there are like walls everywhere, these grills and stuff that block you from entering the unwanted area. But over there, it was so easy to walk around, and there's like no signs that you can't do this. There's like there was an understanding that in some places you maybe shouldn't go, but it's just basic self-preservation that gave me these ideas. But on the other hand, I've walked in some passages around this 2,000-year-old amphitheater, into passages that were used by the people going on stage and going off stage. So this was an amazing experience in itself, just dropping and climbing into some places and standing there, just imagining yourself waiting to get out on the stage and hearing the roar of the crowd of these thousands of people. And this whole city makes it quite easy to do. But this fort here in Petrovaradin, it's like a barrack. So barracks for like thousands of people, of soldiers, but the only thing you can imagine doing there is living in barrack conditions. So yeah, this happened. I'm going to get some water. Back on the topic of touristic locations, so I have been in a couple of locations in Russia, in Moscow and in other cities, smaller ones of course, but like way smaller, almost the tiniest ones. And the state in which most of the museums and these locations are is very, very sad, unfortunately. And apart from this, everything is very strict. There is a lot of like museum workers and stuff around, in comparison to European ones. There's like barely any workers around. In Russia you would see them, even though the whole areas are enclosed in glass, these stands, if that's the correct term, where everything is put in on the shelves and stuff. There's still like chairs in almost every corner of the room. So the last time I was in Russia, in a Russian museum in the center, what's called Оружейная палата in Russian. It's a small museum within the Kremlin. It's not very small, by the way, it's quite big, but still. There's like clothes of known knyazes, and like kings and stuff. So, and dresses and weapons and even a carriage. But all of this is enclosed, and the moment you do something wrong, they start yelling at you like crazy, like they go off. It's like their number one job is to sit there and see whether they can find a person to yell at. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with the years, the 70, or yes, about 75 years of Soviet Union that has happened to these people. This regime, it reminds me even still about, I have this guy I've met in Spain. He was taking photos. He's a Chinese dude. He's maybe 20 years old now, 19. And we have met like 6 years ago, maybe 5, at the top of a mountain in Barcelona. He was filming with his friend the night city and how the night starts and the city reacts to it and lights up and everything like this, and the sun goes down into the sea and all the beauty of it. And I talked to him just about photography and stuff. And we still talk a bit. He writes me on Instagram, even though it's forbidden in China. He's using VPN and stuff. And right now he can't leave the country because of all these COVID restrictions that the government was lucky to find. The government of China is so happy that this whole COVID situation happened, because they can do everything they want now, even more than they could previously. Like all this technology that has been developed, it all plays out in the best possible way for the regime now. So of course, the COVID continues there. And this whole situation is reminding me a lot about what's going on in China. The whole thing that's happening in Russia, I mean, reminds me of China too much. Makes me want to almost puke. I'm reading this news that even though the whole mobilization has ended officially, there are still a lot of people, a lot of young men that are getting forcefully conscripted, like on the streets of Moscow and like Volgograd and other towns. Yep. So I can imagine why all this is making people depressed. There is not much you feel like you can do, especially while you're in there, unless you are going out and trying to protest and stuff, which doesn't end very well for most. Well, for most it ends well, but for quite a big percentage it doesn't. Yep. Very sad story. Anyway. Glad you brought that up, mobilization. I'm seeing reports that mobilization will pick up again. I cannot sustenize it, but nevertheless, tell the Russians I follow what I hear. Yes, I hope so too. The whole situation is, well, I'm very much under the radar, fortunately. There are some things that, well, I still have fears about my well-being still. There are like things that you can speak, but there is like a serious chance of you getting well, even killed for saying. Like, there is no joke about it. There is a fear that still a fear that I can say something that would be too easy to be found, so, and maybe show something that will make me too easily found. But the whole situation still saddens me, unfortunately. And yes, so there is not just like a couple of Russians, there are like a lot of Russians, and there's this fear is not ungrounded, if that is the correct term, that there's literally a chance of being murdered, basically, for saying something. Of course, this whole thing can be made in a way that it would look like not even just suicide, but like a random death, like this whole Novichok story, this the one they used on Navalny and stuff. Of course, that is like a very serious weapon, and to be killed by it, you would be, for a person of opposing political position and who is using internet to in his ways to spread information and his positions, this would be a very maybe even almost proud way to go. I think that is the correct way to say it, because to become so big that you will be an interesting person for the president is, or maybe his servants, is an achievement in itself. I'm not aiming at that, but still, it's not like I can tell too much about all of this stuff, because I don't know that much. I haven't seen much. There's like way more interesting people than me, but still. Like there is a video on YouTube, I think it's still up, I'm pretty sure, if they haven't taken it down, about, you might have seen a, what's it called? A video about a documentary about the president of Russia, but made by BBC. But there is one made by Russians. It has been made like almost 10 years ago, maybe even more, like almost 15 years ago. I'm not sure if it has been translated, but the idea of this, one moment. The idea of the video is the ones who made it, they tried talking to the childhood friends and like the teacher of the president and at school teacher, I'm pretty sure, and also a like a guy from his class. So they have been asking just like very normal questions, but and getting and interesting answers and stories about his Putin's childhood and the way he was. It's a very interesting video in ways, and also there's the why I brought that up. The video, it got not very popular, but it had a couple of thousand views maybe. But the guy that from this video that has said the name of the name of Putin that he had like a nickname back then, he died like in a couple of weeks after the video was published and stuff, and he died in a bad way. He was definitely murdered. Of course, no police work has been done there whatsoever, but also almost the result was that almost everyone that was in this video is dead nowadays. So that's an interesting thing. I hope I will find it and maybe find a way to show it to you or stuff. I'm going to read the chat now. Yes, I understand. I'm in California and I'm really nobody to the Kremlin, yet I imagine them coming after me for being critical. Yes, this can happen, but in their way of living and thinking, I'm pretty sure that for them to get someone from their country is way more necessary than a person from the outside. Even though this happens, like reporters and stuff, they get killed. Well, this is a dangerous work anyway, and especially in Russia, there's a reason why there is so next to no reporters, real reporters left in Russia. Because once they dig into something regarding the state of affairs in the government, suddenly they lose their job at best and leave the country at the same time for just a random reason, like, I don't know, I'm going to a third world for just for fun till forever, not coming back to Russia. So this kind of looks suspicious, doesn't it? It's understandable if you want to choose your words very carefully. Yes, choosing words very carefully is one of the ways to go and to go about it, because as Englishmen say and know that you can say so much without saying anything significant, but everyone would understand you, and that works actually. And still in Russia we have people that go about it this way, and it really works. They work on stations and stuff. It's just they can't say like his name, they can't say almost any names. They just talk, and they don't say like words like government and stuff, and it works out in the end most of the time. You have a greater interest in your safety based on what you say. I don't talk too much about nothing, and they will not search you. Yes, one way is not to talk about it. Also, it's like the easiest way. I'll just say though that I still support your decision to leave the country. We see so many bad outcomes of these conscripts who could not escape. Well, yep. It's a very, very complicated story. Even if you stay and go to war and break your ankle or something like this, there's so many things happening. Like I've seen a report yesterday about a conscript being buried alive to his throat, beat up by a couple of his officers for declining to fight. And he's not like even in the red zone. So like he was buried to his neck, to his head, in the dirt, just for this. Like they don't use, like, what's the freaking point? You have so much time to do all this stupid work, but no time to clean up your guns and properly train your soldiers. Ridiculous. It's incredibly scary. Russians killing Russians if you don't want to fight. Unbelievable. Well, yeah, that's... Yep. How's the food there? How's the water? Are you okay with your skin question that you posed when you were still in the last place and your last video you looked cold? Oh, thank you for another off-top question. So let's change the topic a bit because it's getting too depressing around here. The food here is great. Like, it's great. There is so much choice here. The quality I'm getting for the price I'm paying. Also, I'm talking to you guys. You're telling me the prices for the stuff like you have. It's so much higher around your places most of the time. And so I'm really happy that I'm here and that I have this opportunity to be, well, in Europe. There's like products here, products here in that are getting from Europe and all around, which is the whole Europe is very close by. That are amazing quality, and the prices, I almost forgot how what the prices were before all these sanctions began, because almost one of the first things that hit me, well, the first thing and that hit me hard, and it was one of the first things that was banned, was cheese. And here it's very fine, very good, because no additives. You can get many types of cheese here, way more than in Russia and in Kazakhstan. And overall, the quality is really good. Many things, fruits, from like fruits from Greece and from around here also. Amazing. All is fine. The skin is fine. It fixed itself, and the water here is also very good. I drank water almost all the time until the last couple of days, until the last weekend, when we bought the water filter that is very popular in Russia, very popular, and I'm pretty sure that it's not as popular in Europe. Or correct me if I'm wrong, because it was not as easy to find as in Russia, for example, even in Kazakhstan. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you. It's like this jug with a filter here, and it's Russian made. The like two companies that provide it here. It's quite cheap. It was 20. I think it was 20 euros with the filter inside, but no, 20, not 20. It was around 10 euros, I think, 10 to 15. Anyway, this thing filters the water from the tap really good, and we can drink it very easily. It leaves way less magnesium, calcium, all this stuff in the kettle, but I recommend if you don't have something like this. Okay. So in the last video I looked called yeah, the thing it's very humid here, and so the temperature hits differently. It's -1, and we have this heater. It's like an oil heater. It's running not 24/7, but well, it's running 24/7, but it's not on the max all the time, just pumping and pumping, but still. Without it would be like, well, it's like in the morgue or something like this. Like, back to the chat. Oh, this who knew him when he was young, asking what he was like back then. Yeah, yep. That's back on the topic of Putin, right? Okay, yep. Be careful what you talking, don't angry guys on front line. There's like, they will find a reason to get angry anyway. I think that skin issue was an allergic reaction to something at the last place. Besides, even here in California, when I looked up info about the city, they were known to have a polluted environment. There are many cities that people live in and don't even know how bad the quality of the air is. That even reminds me of there was like, I'm pretty sure it was Vice, that the channel on YouTube, Vice, that made this documentary about the quality of the conditions of African workers miners. There is like, it's very cheap to mine in Africa, and they pay like the tiniest amounts of money to them, and they still work for it because you can still buy, well, at least something, and they give them no respirators or stuff like this. And even if they did, the amount of fumes coming out of these mines, and they have these areas of living for the miners, right? So, and the families of them, and it's not very far away from the mine, but still, like maybe half a kilometer or something like this. The fumes are so big, that huge, that almost like a third of children that they birth grow up with these huge heads where they have, it's filled with water because of all these bad and horrible for the health metals that get thrown out. So, and all these people, they don't even know about, they like maybe God hates them or something like this. So they think in this way, but I have become a member again, only a small amount. I believe Russians are very magical people. I just wish the ones in power would let their people flourish. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. The people have endured a lot. And, well, it's the one thing I'm pretty sure that they are best at. And I think people are too... Most of the people in Russia are just too used to doing just that. Just enduring, and that's it. Not even thinking why are they doing it. And this is why all the things that are happening, I'm pretty sure. I agree. Okay. Yep. I have to go again, Alex. Sending you and your lovely lady many blessings. Thank you so much. And the best of luck to you, and understanding, and with your Russian man. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad I was able to attend to. How does the future look for both to settle in there? So right now we are not putting all our eggs in one basket. So we are still ready to go at any moment, especially with the whole story with the war that is expanding currently. And even though it feels stagnant at the moment, like a bear market, but it can go any one way right now, and I'm not sure which. So this is one of the reasons, and also a couple of others. So there are ways to stay in most countries. There is like a way that you can open a company, and it would not take that much money to make it official, and you would employ yourself and your family, for example, or something like this, and you would get like a green card, right? I'm not sure what's the correct term, but Of course, I don't have this money, and once again, I'm not so sure that this is the place to stay, but I would like to see more places and more countries around, more people in this interesting time that we live in right now. Because every story, like, is every position. When you know way more of them, you get a way bigger picture about what's going on and which processes are like repeating itself, or is this a new something new or evolving. So I guess you catch my drift. Yeah, so this is a kind of sad, a bit depressing live stream. But anyway, get this water filter. Maybe not from this company, but it's a good thing. It saves a lot of money and helps with the health. You change it like once a month or so with these ones, and if you get like big ones on the tap, it might be even better. Yeah, the food is great. Dale, I'm glad to see. I think it helps us to know how things are going for you. We worry. Well, thank you for worrying. Thank you for being here with me. If you could choose anywhere in the world to live, where would you go? Oh, hi Betty. That's a great question. That's a really good question that I don't think I have enough information to answer. I have been to Spain, to England, to Serbia now, to Kazakhstan, to Turkey. There are like a lot more places to go. I have also been in India. I would never want to live in India, that's for sure. So it's for now it's easier for me to say where I would not want to live. And India is one of the places, and it's beautiful on the one side, and on the other it shocked me in so many ways. So I'm not ready to answer that question. Maybe, and well, someday I will. I hope to have like a nice green territory with grass, possibly, and trees, maybe even possibly some running water nearby. That would be awesome. Maybe a sea nearby, that would be also great, like at least not 1,000 miles away. But so I would build a house there and we would live there, but I'm not sure where it is right now. Another question. Am I able to practice my cooking? My next video would answer that question. Yes, I cook most of the food, like 95% of the food we eat, because, I still enjoy cooking very much, and also that it saves a lot of money. But I will show you the kitchen in the video, and you will see how it's going on, the whole process of cooking, and my thoughts about this kitchen. And I'm pretty sure you might see some similarities between your kitchen and this rental apartment kitchen, and I hope this might help, because I will give my perspective and ways maybe to improve what's going on here. So I hope this answers your question. Am I in contact with others who escaped to find what their experiences are like? Sanctioned Ivan on YouTube is in Turkey, and he says he really likes it, although I haven't viewed his stream lately. I'm not in contact with the guys that are streaming or making videos on YouTube. I have a couple of people I know that have left Russia recently, and well, they don't say much. But yep, I'm pretty sure that it's not in their nature to speak about all this stuff. People are too afraid of many things right now. I'm from Canada, and you don't have to leave the country to experience all the cultures in the world, including India. We are really multicultural here, especially in Toronto. I haven't been in Canada, by the way, or USA. I hope to visit someday, and I'm pretty sure I will. And regarding the weather, I'm pretty sure it's very similar to the Russian one, well, where I live at least, lived before that, around Moscow and stuff. And the thing about culture is when I travel, I'm sure that the best way to experience it is in rural areas, and not to live in a hotel, but get a rental apartment in some rural area, and to walk the streets, to see all these, like as in India, I've seen like cows and stuff like walking around, and all these mangoes just dropping on your heads, and like I literally saw a huge tree that was higher than like a 10-story building at height. The leaves started from the third or fourth story. So from this height there have been mangoes. It's very wide. I couldn't even wrap my hands around it, and mangoes were dropping from it. And I've seen one drop on the passing underneath it taxi. From this height, it made like a huge bend in the hood of the car. 50% of people in Toronto are born in another country. You will fit well here. I also learned a bit of French, and I will learn more of it. So this is like also a good fit. Okay, I will be ending the stream soon. I'm all these talks about Russia took a bit more energy out of me than I hoped. So thank you. I would like to thank all of you guys that have supported me so far and came to the stream, and also the ones that joined me today with your subscription. That is awesome. Thank you very much, Jan and Dale. I'm sorry, Dale. Good. Yes, you should all have a great day. Just a relaxed but well energized day to all of you. Thank you so much. Bye bye, guys.